It may be controversial, but it needs to be said. The scene where Scott Hunter comes out publicly after winning his Stanley Cup sends a very sad message. You need to be at least Scott Hunter to come out publicly and make change like this. Don't get me wrong, I love this scene. I cry every time I see it. It's one of the most beautiful scenes in the whole show. But the bottom line is, you have to be that privileged to be that open. Your voice has to be powerful. You can't be voiceless. You know what I mean? And it actually seems to be the case not only in hockey. Hockey is a great representation of such world, but it happens every day, everywhere, unfortunately. Welcome back to my channel. Here we talk about popular TV scenes, characters, and the emotional logic behind them, because I consider pop culture a very important piece of art and culture. If that sounds like your type of content and approach, don't forget to subscribe and join our community here. The scene actually feels like freedom, right? It's very inspiring because Scott is winning his first Stanley Cup after years of trying, after years to be better in his own game, right? And keep a sitting right there, he's cheering for him, and then Scott decides to come out publicly, and it's a very spontaneous decision for him, and his courage is inspiring. He's very brave in that particular moment, and in general, of course, right? This scene is also saying, to be that free, you have to also be powerful. And let me know what you think about this whole setup. Do you get the same idea, the same message, which is the bottom line of these scenes? Courage matters, bravery matters, but courage is actually not the only thing that helps Scott in that particular moment. Firstly, let's discuss why Scott can pull a maneuver like this. And several reasons here. One of them is that he is already a winner. He just won his first Stanley Cup. He has also won the Olympic Games, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2014. He's already respected for his game and also for his charity work. So he has his own personal brand, which is very expensive. He's very popular and he's very respected by the league, by his teammates, other players, and the fans, of course, right? He's also less replaceable because it's the Scott Hunter. And he has a huge public symbolic capital, if we can put it like this, right? Scott is brave. Scott is brave for sure, but he's also protected by everything he has achieved. Everything he has worked for all those years helped him in that particular moment. And let me know what you think about this. I don't want to say if it's a good or bad thing. This is just how it works. This is how we see it portrayed in the show, and it's a bit of bittersweet feeling, right? And of course, this is very inspiring for people out there, for queer people out there, of course, and for Ilya and Shane, because I'm coming to the college happens, right? The best phrase in 2026. While it's very inspiring for example, Shane and Ilya, it's not enough to change the game for them. This coming out meant a lot for them, but it was not enough. This scene is very hopeful because it shows what visibility can do, but it's also very bittersweet because you can also feel that this visibility is not available, is not affordable to everyone. And now example, it's Shane and Ilya. And this is exactly what Shane means when he says we just want a future. He just wants a world where their relationship can exist and does not turn into a constant scandal. This idea of being powerful enough to come out and to exist that freely is actually very important for the long game. It's one of the key ideas there. I've read it recently, of course. I'm still recovering, but already ready to talk about it and discuss it here. This is exactly what we're gonna do here. So basically this whole Scott Hunter's coming out actually helps me understand the dynamic of the book much better. It helps me understand Shane better, because in the book it's sometimes hard to understand Shane's POV, and I'm gonna use some of the spoilers for the long game, so be careful. And one of the first thoughts that I had when I read the book was like, why 3 more years when you already have more than 10 years of your relationship a secret? Why it's another 3 years? And I don't want to pressure them, right, with my expectations of them, but I just wanted them to be braver, to be happy, to get their happiness, to be free and to be visible, right? I wanted them, and Shane specifically, to choose love openly, and this is not what was happening, right? And I thought, like, why he was scared? But actually now I think that he was not just scared, he was accumulating power to actually gain better negotiation position, if I can say it like this. And this is a very sad thought, right? In order to be free, you have to negotiate something with someone, but this is how it is portrayed. So their freedom to choose each other, to choose their love, to choose their relationship, turns into a power struggle between them and the league. And throughout his career, Shane actually accumulates a lot of power and various types of power. And actually, I would say that Shane is some kind of institutional asset for the league, because let's be honest, for the league, those players are assets that help the league exist, earn money, and develop. It's not that process that should be used when we talk about real people, that this is how they think, right? And this is exactly how Crowell thinks of them when they come to his office in the end of the long game. Shane actually is the face of the league. He's one of the best players in the league, and he has a great personal brand, and he has a lot of power, right? Because he's got 4 Stanley Cups, he's Canadian, right? And he's very media safe. He does a lot of charity, he does commercials, he's very popular. He is a very strong player in this whole system. He is the ideal representative of the league. And hear me out, right? I don't want to say that Ilya does not have this power, but Ilya is known to be more aggressive, more cocky player, more problematic player. That's why his power may be less visible, less usable, if we can say it here like this. Crowell does not like that Ilya moved to the worst team in the whole league, that Ilya moved to Ottawa, right? They are 2 very talented and very important players for the league. Yeah, so Shane basically has a lot of power. He's an institutional asset, and Shane can actually negotiate because league cannot afford to lose him, because the league has already invested a lot in developing him and helping him become who he is right now. And this is exactly how Crowell talks to them. Ask them about the own brands that they have, and if they come out, their brands gonna be worth nothing. And this whole scene in the Crowell's office is exactly the moment when they feel powerful. Powerful to come out, and also powerful to dictate the rules, how they want to be free, how they want to come out, how they want to exist in the league going forward. I feel like they, and let me know what you think about that, they wouldn't be able to dictate the rules for the league if they came out when they were younger. They maybe could stay in the league, right? They could play, they could win their cups. That would not be the same as it happens in the long game. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe not. This is sad, but this is how it works for them. Even sadder thought that after 30 years in Montreal, Shane cannot negotiate with his teammates. He's able to negotiate with the league, with the commissioner, with Crowell. His teammates cannot accept him. Even sadder thing than the league, right? Because if we talk about the league, it's primarily about money, about brand, about popularity. But if we also talk about the team, it's also about personal relationship. It's about support. It's about sportsmanship. If you're voiceless, it's easier to deal with you behind closed doors by sending you to another league or by giving you less ice time. Yeah, if we talk about hockey, right? And that's the reality that they portray, right? And of course, if we talk about Shane and Ilya, I'm very glad that they could get their happy ending, kind of happy ending, because of course Ilya is still struggling with his depression, and those 3 years add to that for sure. But I think at least in the book and in the series we're gonna get a happy ending for them, because in real life it's much more difficult. When I read this post where Francois and Hassan saying that many players reach out to them through their agents to say that they are gay, queer, and that they felt really inspired and supported by the show, and they enjoyed it really very much. On the one hand, it's very good. On the other hand, it sends a very sad message. They are not able to be open about their sexuality publicly. They do it through their agents, and agents have a lot of players they represent. So this is the type of thought that I wanted to share with you today. This scene of Scott's coming out is so bittersweet because it shows a glimpse of a better world. The world which is out there, right? It looks the same as our world. Scott shows us what freedom can look like, what visibility can look like, but then Shane and Ilya remind us that not everyone can access this world equally and easily. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and despite the fact that it's a very sad thought. Thank you for following me and supporting my channel. Thanks to you, I bought this new piece of equipment, my new friend, new mic, so you get better audio quality in my videos. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know what you think. See you in the next video. Bye bye.